Thank you everyone for taking out the time and joining the TCC webinar. So TCC, basically helps students with, they are the global admissions consultants, and they help students with their undergrad, masters, and MBA prep and application. We also help students with mentoring, with building their profiles, with aptitude tests, preparing for the SAT, GMAT, GRE, and we give you complete application guidance as well. Dhaval, who is on our call, Dhaval Mehta, is the founder of TNI Career Counseling, and he's an expert career coach with over 17 years of experience. And he, works one-on-one with students. He and his team work one-on-one with students, and he's a graduate of the University of Michigan and Columbia University. He's a personal certified career counselor and a NACAC member. And he has a certificate in college advising from Columbia University, Teachers College as well. TNI has access to a huge network of mentors and advisors, who've been through the process themselves, who have studied at all of these prestigious universities, and they advise, the program. They advise all the different phases of TNI. They share their own experiences, and they also brainstorm with the internal team at TNI to guide students and the parents through this important phase in a student's life, right? Applying to college, choosing the right college, choosing the right country, right? Like, how do you choose which country to go to? Because today you have universities in Canada, you have them, in Europe, in Germany. So how do you pick the right university, right? What kind of test prep do you need to do? I mean, it's a really challenge out to alumni. You have to do so much of research to understand which program is right for you. You have to get in touch with the admissions officers, and there's so much of work and research that's done. As test prep is concerned, or you have access to these facilitators at TNI. Some of them have, they've graduated from the IITs, they've gone to universities in the US and Canada. So they will help you with, test prep, whether it's the SATs, GRE, GMAT, SAT2. They can help you through every stage of the application process.
Showing a success story of Saima Sikka. So Saima came to us in July 2017. She was in the 12th grade at that time at Bombay Scottish School. And she decided, so when she had come to us, she had already taken up commerce at that point in time. And, she had thought she didn't want to take up science because her inclination was not that high. So the subject she took in commerce was something she was fairly satisfied with. So she had accounts, economics, of course, English, you have to take Hindi. So you have those 6 subjects when you're taking ISC. So as a board ISC, so she decided a little bit later to to go abroad. So when she came to us, that's the time, sort of in July, and she was already in the 12th grade, that she decided that she would like to apply to the US. So we actually went through a personal one-on-one session the first time. We took an aptitude test with for the same reason, and that aptitude test really helped us understand the child a little bit better. And if I may just go through, when I say how, I can go to slide 20, which says, what does that aptitude test measure? So it measures a bit of the, the Briggs-Myers test, which is, the personality type. So it gives us an understanding of what the child is at this point in time. And then, of course, if you're an introvert, or, if you're more observant, versus, what is your EQ, versus, how organized or spontaneous you are with your decisions. And then what are their various career types? What is their career interest type? So, are they investigative? Are they artistic? Are they realistic? Are they enterprising, social, conventional? This gives us a little bit more of an, if you're in the 9th or 10th, is it CBSE? Is it ISC, or is it IB, or is it A levels? And the focus and approach is different for each one of them. There's more emphasis on accumulation of knowledge for CBSE, especially in the maths and sciences, versus the ISC, it's sort of equal weightage to humanities, commerce and sciences, and slightly more on English. With IB, there's equal weightage to humanities, commerce, sciences, and languages. With Cambridge, you could actually see, it's equal weightage to humanities, commerce, sciences, and language. But again, if you're taking the A levels, you could take a maximum of 4 courses versus IB 6. Um, so there's a slight difference there. Subjects, you could see, there are 3 streams for CBSE. ISE is similar. IB again, 6 groups. Also with IB, you have to. It also varies from school to school. Some schools might give you a certain subject which is there in the group, might not be. So yes, parents do get constrained at that point in time as well. Um, Also with IB, there has been certain challenges where there could be only selective schools that have maybe the right support for IB. So you have to also know which school for the child to go abroad. And we just give them a statistic also, is that probably 15% of the undergraduate students, from India are sort of going, to, the US. And we'd say that those who are actually applying, and then 55% of PG of their masters essentially. So what we recommend is, if they want to go at an undergraduate level, they need to be, the child needs to be independent, dedicated, wants a diverse and interdisciplinary coursework. And it's, when I say interdisciplinary, is today most of them who are actually going outside abroad are also combining their degrees with a minor or another major. And that's something that really helps you also at an undergraduate level versus when you're at a master's level, because at a master's you can focus on just one area which you want to build on. But an undergraduate, you could actually get 2 things, and it's great to consider while you're doing these application processes is, how soon do I start? Many of them ask me that how soon do I start? And essentially, this is what gives them a chart which says, if you're doing an SAT or an ACT versus a SAT2 or an AP or TOEFL or community service or academics, extracurriculars, building relationship with your teachers and counselors, shortlisting universities, and the whole application process, you need to have at least a time period of 2 years goals. Again, identify your interests during your high school or studies. Pursue your interest to, in addition to compulsory courses. Pursue those interests. Take internships, Coursera courses, projects. Strengthen your skill sets. Sort of within this bracket. Those who are in the 12th, of course, currently, the Common App, the Coalition App for the US, UCAS for UK, Canada and other countries have their own application forms. Canada also for Ontario has a common system. So there's plenty of requirements across the board, which you also need to understand. You need to check the deadlines and plan taking. So the bigger aspect of all of this applying abroad is making sure that considers something that's put in here is business analyst or research or urban planner or an architect, or it's advertising, or being taking psychology, being a clinical psychologist, or an archaeologist or a historian, or public relations or brand management, journalism, design, social media, healthcare management. There's most of this process is really helping the students select the right subjects, the extracurriculars, the test prep options, community service, whether you want a boarding school later or not, or a summer program, selecting that, and then as you move along with grade 11th and 12th, we advise you on, of course, requirements for 11th and 12th, maybe if it's your subjects, that you want to take up an IB, shortlisting universities later on, but actually helping really build the area, of study. I think that's important because many of them have questions of which subjects do I really take, and so what is the reputation of the university, your budgetary constraints, your what kind of activities do I need to now look at, what is the career advancement, what is the location of the atmosphere or the major offerings of the program.